and I'm back. It's your boy. Yo, my intros are just not good. I'm not gonna lie, my intros suck. You know what I'm saying? Hey, once I get a couple more videos down packed, then my intro's gonna be a lot better. Right now, my intros are not good. You best believe I'm not editing or cutting this out. I know that intro was trash, but you know what I'm saying? I gotta keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? One take jig out here. You feel me? Anywho, so this video is called 3 True NBA Stories Animated. Okay, I saw a little bit of the clips on TikTok here. I'm not gonna lie, it seemed like some like creepypasta type stuff. So I didn't want to watch too much of it. So once I react to this, it's a lot more of a genuine reaction. So anywho, without further ado, I digress as usual. Without further ado, we're gonna hop straight into this video. Make sure to like and comment, and yeah, let's hop straight into this. There's no way I was supposed to read that disclaimer that freaking fast. Terrence Nicholson. Is that LeBron? Cleveland. Why does this look like a damn murder
All in
dog?
all, I think the luckiest thing that ever happened to me in my life was being born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. From there, sharing a birthplace with the basketball legend LeBron James, I've been able to get closer to him than I bet most wannabe fans could ever dream of. But if you're really a fan like me, just living in the same city as the idol isn't enough. Cities are big places, and elite men like LeBron James spend very little, if any, time amongst the masses. That's not a problem I face myself, however, because I know how to get close. It's all about those courtside seats. They bring you so close to the players that you can very nearly feel the heat dissipating from their bodies. And every now and then you get lucky enough to trade a few words with one of them. LeBron! LeBron! I love you, LeBron! Come home and have dinner with me! I'll cook for you! I know how you like your steaks! I'll do everything for you! Every time I meet with a family member, they ridicule me and chastise me about how much money I spend on getting those tickets at every home game. But they don't understand how important it is to me. It's not like I'm going broke over it anyway. I don't see what's wrong with it if I can afford it. I mean, some people spend their money on vacations and computers and clothes, and I spend my money on getting as near to LeBron James as I can. I would say it's like my hobby, but LeBron James more than anything, more than money and more than women, is what gets me out of bed in the morning. It's hard for me to explain it.
What the hell? I'm not gonna lie, bro. This is giving me like Cash Nasty vibes. Like, hey, I'm gonna just keep it 100 with you. This is giving me most sane LeBron fan vibes out here, dog. Like, what the frick is going on? Be dead ass.
He's just so iconic. Everything he does just exudes badassery and confidence, virtue and compassion. He's like the greatest single specimen of a human being that's ever existed. He's indomitable on the court, undoubtedly a powerhouse in the gym, and an angel in mortal coil everywhere else. Now, people often call me biased. They say he's not the greatest who ever lived, though he may be close, and that I just feel that way because we're both Cleveland natives. Those people might be right, but it doesn't matter to me at all. LeBron and I have a history together. You know his famous chalk throw, where he throws a cloud of chalk into the air and watches it disappear with his fans?
Right.
Whenever I'm courtside, I carry with me a big Ziploc bag that I've coated with honey on the inside and wait for the throw, while everyone else is stunned in slack-jawed amazement. You might see me on the cameras holding up an open bag with great pride, hoping to catch some of the chalk particles that have recently been graced by contact with the skin of LeBron James. Oh, his skin. How it contains such divinity. I'm proud to say that I myself have gone a step further from gathering his chalk, and I've actually touched the man himself. One night after the game, LeBron was doing a little photo op with some other fans. I saw him surrounded by a bunch of starving-looking little kids in hospital gowns, and I struck while I had the chance. I still keep a printout of that photo on my nightstand. It's the first thing I see when I wake up, and the last thing I see before I sleep. But even the photo itself means little compared to the experience I had getting the photo. Hey, LeBron, I'm your biggest groupie. I mean, fan. I hope you can hear my cheers amongst the Cavs fans.
It's pretty good, but I know we can be much, much louder than any fan base, in this league. And,
can I please take a picture with you? Hurry up, kid. You're not the only fan here. I was slick with it. I put my arm around his shoulder while we posed for the photo, and right after I snapped it, before he could get away from me, I caressed the top of his head for just a moment. Oh, did that feel good. stroking the casing of that magnificent brain, feeling the hair and the grease transfer to my fingers. Even if those fibers didn't grow directly from his head, they still mingle with his sweat and sweat and went along for the ride of a well-played match. I hate it when people make fun of his hairline, as if it makes him any less angelic. But anyway, I might have made a bad impression on LeBron on that occasion, though I'm not really sure why. All I know is that he gave me a very strange look and walked away very suddenly, abandoning all those Make-A-Wish kids. Moments later, I was getting tossed around by a bunch of security meatheads who threw me out of the stadium and threatened to have me banned from all future games. Who do you think you are, man? Don't you have any respect? Get the hell out of here! Obviously, I couldn't get banned or my life would be over. So as much as it pained me, I took a back seat for the season. Though I saved a lot of money by not getting courtside seats, that season sucked. I was forced to watch him give love to all his other fans while I sat on the sidelines of the sidelines. It made me so angry. There was one occasion where LeBron almost ended our relationship altogether. He just finished scoring the winning baskets of a really tight game, and it was bad enough that I was forced to watch it from 1,000 feet away. But afterwards, there was this whole celebration in LeBron's honor. I wanted so bad to run out onto the court with him, but I just barely held myself back. But that's when I saw him do something that made my blood boil. He changed his shoes and jersey and signed them, and just gave them away to some homely-looking chubby kid. Afterwards, I found that ungrateful little snot and followed him out into the parking lot. I lured him away from the crowd, then demanded to have the shoes and jersey. No way, man. I got these and they're mine. I'm gonna sell these for a fortune in 10 years. Cram it, you little twerp. Those belong to me. Now, I do regret the lengths I went to, but I did what I had to do. I socked him right in the nose, hoping he would just crumble and pass out, but then he started screaming. Ow! Oh my God, what is wrong with you? That's when I knew I had to make sure he wouldn't be able to tattle. So I had to break his face just a little bit.
What the heck?
Near the alley, so I had enough time to beat him to a juvenile pulp, take what belonged to me, and get the hell out of there before anyone saw. Unfortunately, the little brat soiled both the jersey and the shoes by getting blood all over them and staining them. It's alright though, because I wasn't planning on selling those. Ever. It was around that time, however, that tragedy struck for Cavalier fans. LeBron got traded, and of all places, to the Miami Heat. And no matter how hard I tried to swing it, I could just never afford courtside seats in Miami and plane tickets there and back all the time. I'm ashamed to admit it, but there were a couple years when I didn't see LeBron at all. I'd forgiven him already, of course, and I had to make sure he knew that. When he started becoming active on Instagram, I reached out to him there. I sent him a message every day for a few months, but he never got back to me. I didn't have any followers, so I must have looked like a bot or some kind of scam or something. If he knew it was really me, I'm sure he would have responded. And even though LeBron eventually returned to Cleveland, I had to do something to make do during that time in between. At first, I built a little shrine dedicated to him, using all the little pieces of him that I've gathered over the years. My family thought it was a joke when I told them about it, but it's not. I was trying to find ways to legitimize it, and then one day, heaven delivered to me the perfect gift. I saw an ad from a LeBron James lookalike who was offering to do birthday parties for little kids while impersonating LeBron James. Obviously, I knew what I had to do, because I knew the real LeBron would loathe to see such an imposter making money on his likeness. I lured the impersonator into a trap with relative ease. And now, with just a little bit of imagination, I have LeBron James in my basement whenever I want him.
What the heck?
Let me go, please. LeBron, you look enchanting this evening. Do you prefer red wine or white wine? I don't care. Please just let me out of here. I won't tell anyone, I swear. Oh, Mr. James, you should really use your inside voice. Now, where is your bag of chalk? Have you forgotten your before-dinner ritual?
That honestly made me feel uncomfortable. That was, yo, what the? Now, every time I think of a LeBron fan, I'm going to think of this video. What, yo, all right, let's just go to the next one. That was creepy as hell. That was freaking creepy. Oh, no, not Curry fans. Not Curry fans.
I had a carefree life in Oakland, California. I loved hanging out with friends after work and watching live band concerts, even if it meant pushing against the crowd. But despite my love of parties and music, there was one particular interest that stood above the rest. Posters of him adorned my bedroom walls, filling every corner of the room. This man would be the fantasy of every Golden State Warriors fangirl, and he was none other than Stephen Curry. Who could resist those gorgeous eyes, firm muscles, superb three-point shooting skills, and cunning point guard maneuvers? 70% of the time, I would be there to watch him live, supporting him from beginning to end. Steph was perfect, and everything he did was beautiful. I worshipped him so much that during a game between the Golden State Warriors and the Houston Rockets in 2013, I cornered a Rockets fan who called Steph an idiot. Outraged, I waited for her in the restroom and blinded her eyes with my pen. I stabbed both her eyes over and over again. Then, when it wasn't enough, I pulled on her hoop earrings and ripped them out of her pathetic earlobes. Seeing her cower in fear inside a cubicle made me feel like I had done Curry justice. In 2016, when I found out the Golden State Warriors were up against the Cleveland Cavaliers for playoff season, I highlighted the entire game series on my calendar and watched all 6 games. On June 19th, I went to watch Game 7. I felt eyes creep all over my body as men drooled at the sight of me. I couldn't blame them. After all, who wouldn't notice my close-fitting dress and plunging neckline? Unfortunately, this wasn't for them. This was for Curry. Game 7 was a close fight with 11 ties and 20 lead changes. However, my dear Warriors were defeated by the Cavaliers. It didn't matter to me when they lost the game. And now that the game was over, I had to find a way to get close to Steph. I was on the lower level, close enough to the Golden State Warriors bench. So I gave it my best shot and screamed my lungs out, saying,
"Steph Curry! Over here!"
His eyes wandered off across the sea of people, but nowhere near me. So when I failed to grab his attention, I hollered once again.
"Steph, I love you!"
Then another girl called out his name in the same row, mimicking the words that came out of my mouth. I wanted to yank her hair, but I couldn't, because she was 3 seats away from me. She wore a tube shirt and booty shorts, so when Steph waved at her, it infuriated me.
"You copycat witch! He's mine!"
I lunged towards her and grabbed her hair, starting a full-out fistfight in that row. When the security guard noticed, he said, "Hey, you two! If you girls got a problem, I have no choice but to take you outside. You got that?" I was silent after that and let the trick go. But I was also furious that Steph hadn't noticed me at all. So my next step was to try and meet him up close. However, I couldn't get through a jungle of wild fans, all wanting to gain access to Steph Curry. There were just too many of them.
"Damn it,"
I said, wishing that I had bought one of the more expensive tickets instead. All of them wanted to get an autograph. Then one of the girls emerged from the crowd, seeming jovial. After getting what she wanted, she held a jersey in her hand with Curry's signature on it. But she also went the extra mile by having her right cheek signed as well. When I came closer, I recognized her as the annoying Curry fangirl. I lost it then and there. This girl didn't deserve to be happy. And so, as everyone left the arena, I stalked the woman, following her silently as she rode the bus. She got off and strolled through an empty park. It's amazing how human instincts work, because I could tell she felt uneasy. She kept looking back at me, her shoulders rigid and her speed fast. At this point, she had noticed that I was following her. So, without a moment to lose, I ran and pounced like a predator that went in for the kill. I thrashed her head in with a small rock, aiming for the temple with my pent-up anger and frustration. I didn't stop until she bled. She yelled at me and said,
"Get off of me, you lunatic! Somebody help!"
"Just hand me Steph's precious autograph. Give it to me now,"
I retorted, convinced she would cave in.
All right. Just stop hitting me, please!
she said out of shock. But it wasn't enough. So, to bring me satisfaction, I took her bag, threw it to the side, and strangled her.
What the heck? Yo, this got mad dark.
When she finally blacked out, I dragged her towards the trees and broke both her legs by kicking in her kneecaps relentlessly until she woke up from sheer pain. And when she regained consciousness, I saw fear and anxiety in her eyes.
Good. That's exactly how I like it.
I laughed deliriously.
Just let me go, please. I won't call the cops, I promise.
She begged, desperately.
Sure, I'll let you go, but not until I get what I want.
I said, as I pointed at her. She looked down at the jersey she was wearing and frantically said,
I was trying to tell you that you could take it, but you weren't listening to me.
Are you sure about that?
I teased. She replied, tossing me the jersey.
Yeah, just take it and leave me alone already.
Okay, thanks. It's not like you have a choice anyway.
I snickered triumphantly.
You know what? I hate girls like you who always get in the way of me and my beloved Stefan.
She began to shed rivers of tears.
Hey, stop crying. No one's gonna hear you out here late at night. It's just you and me. I made sure of it.
I threatened her, delighted at the turn of events.
Oh, and one last thing. I wasn't talking about the jersey.
I took out a Swiss Army knife, which I always brought for self-defense, and dangled it in front of her, smiling menacingly.
Wait, what are you planning to do with that?
She asked, in a trembling voice.
Well, you have something more valuable.
Then, with exuberance, I gripped the knife and pierced it through the skin on her cheek that had Curry's signature on it.
What the
Carving
heck?
it out as she wailed in pain.
Yo!
When I was halfway finished removing the skin, I thought of something a bit more fun, so I decided to bite it off instead. I put the souvenirs inside my bag and took an Uber home. As I went up to my room, I framed the jersey along with the piece of skin, hanging them on the wall where I could take a sidelong glance at Steph's signature every so often as I fantasized about him and I together.
What the frick was that story? That was evil. Gosh, James Harden. I didn't even know this guy had fans.
Even though I saw it happen with my own eyes, I still can't believe that there are creeps out there who single out and target high-class ladies like me. I mean, obviously, I'd heard stories about girls my age getting hurt or going missing, but all those girls were nobodies before that all happened to them. It was what happened to them that made them something. Whereas a girl like me was born somebody. I've got a reputation to uphold, you know? If people found out about this, they'd start to think I was just another brainless floozy, another statistic. But I am no statistic. You do not get to know who I am, but you get to know what I am. I'm a daughter of affluence, and don't forget it. My daddy owns a multinational corporation, and my mom's a doctor. Big brainiacs, both of them. And they use their smarts to make sure I'd be able to continue in their footsteps. And I'm working on that now. I'm going to school so I can become the next richest woman on the planet and make my parents proud. But a few years ago, back in 2018, I was a little more carefree. I had a lot of freedom, and I still do, mind you, but back then I was taking full advantage of my privileges. My parents basically let me do whatever I wanted with the allowance they gave me, and you can bet that it was no pittance. My friend and I, for the sake of keeping her real name out of this fiasco, will call her Kayla. We both loved basketball. Well, more accurately, we loved the basketball players. The Toyota Center in our home city of Houston was gearing up for the playoffs, and we'd nabbed courtside seats for the home game, which meant we'd be getting all the eyefuls of the NBA stars that we could ever want. We were getting hammered before the game even started. People call it pre-gaming, but that's where the fun really starts. At least that's what we thought. Because when we got out of the Uber, made our way through the crowd of the stadium, and sat down, we realized that our seats were more than just courtside. They were about as close to the benches of the Houston Rockets as the general populace could get. We could almost smell the cologne and sweat wafting over from their bodies, and I'm getting giddy just thinking about it now, so you can probably imagine how hard my friend and I were swooning at the time. On top of that, we basically always had some kind of intoxicating beverage in our hand at all times, trading them in for fresh ones every chance we got. We weren't even paying attention to the game. I forgot there was a ball and basket altogether. I couldn't take my eyes off the players, but by halftime, my vision started to get a little blurry from all the drinks. Around that time, Kayla ran off somewhere.
I have to use the bathroom. You let me know if anything happens while I'm gone. Okay. I'm just gonna chill here for a little while.
Admittedly, I'd gone a little too hard with the drinking that night, and in that moment, it was catching up to me. I couldn't really see any of what was going on, and all the noise in the stadium just sounded like a bunch of bubbles underwater, totally indecipherable. I had no idea if the game had even started back up yet, or if it was already completely over. Even though I did have to pee, and I probably could have been well served by some sickness in the bathroom, I decided the best thing for me to do was stay in my seat and wait for Kayla to come back. And of course, while I waited, I continued to drink. But before Kayla returned from the bathrooms, which were way up the steps of the stadium, a man came up to me. I was very faded and couldn't see him in detail, but I saw that he was very tall with a big beard and a frohawk, which, for me at the time, was enough to make him look like James Harden.
Hey, are you James Harden?
His voice was so deep and silky. I shivered when he spoke. Of course I am. Who else would I be?
What? I thought you were in the locker rooms for halftime.
My team is in the locker room,
so
but I'm free to go
toxic.
wherever I want. And I had to come talk to the girl who's been giving me the bedroom eyes this whole time. I have to say, you're even more beautiful than I thought you'd be at a glance. Why don't we ditch this scene? Maybe come with me to my mansion.
But, James, what about the game?
It's a lost cause, but if you'd rather stay and watch the Rockets lose, I could always find another thought. I mean, I thought you would want to leave with me, but I guess I'll find someone else.
No, wait, James. Don't be that way. I'll come with you. Just give me a second to stand up. I'm really...
Before I could finish that drunken mess of a sentence, he grabbed my hand and held onto it with a firm grip as he escorted me out of the stadium. It was really hard to keep up with him. Not only did he have long legs and a stone-cold sober attitude, but he also seemed to be in a real rush to leave for some reason. It didn't take long for me to get my first red flags. Instead of going into the special garage that I thought existed for the athletes, we went into the regular garage where all the fans parked. Not only that, but he had a really lame car. It was just some cheap old Toyota. Unfortunately, the walk was doing the opposite of sobering me up, somehow pushing more alcohol through my system. I either blacked out or passed out for several minutes, because the next thing I remember is speeding down the off-ramp of a highway, then turning onto some random dirt road in the woods.
Wait, what's going on? Where are we?
My mansion, of course.
But this is all just woods. What are you talking about?
Well, I didn't lie to you. This wooded area is what I call my mansion. Suddenly, a lot of things started clearing up. A rush of panic and adrenaline sobered me up enough for me to actually start having some logical thoughts go through my head. I could see better, too. And this guy didn't look anything like James Harden. I quickly realized that the real James Harden would never abandon his team halfway through a game, let alone a game as important as the playoffs. I began to feel sick, both the hangover and the realization all dawning on me at once. I'd been duped by some rotten imposter, and only God knew where he was taking me. That's when I felt my phone buzz. I pulled it out of my purse and saw that Kayla had been texting me.
Where are you, girl? Where'd you go? Hello? James Harden just threw a free throw and you missed it. The game's almost over. Don't make me go home alone.
That's when my instincts took over. I unbuckled my seatbelt and jumped out the door while the car was still in motion. He was going over some gravel road which bruised and cut me all over. He slammed on the brakes to try and come back and get me, but I was already rolling with the momentum and getting onto my feet, running straight into the woods where he wouldn't be able to drive after me. I had no idea where I was, but I knew it was nowhere good. I ran in the general direction of the highway we'd just gotten off of, traipsing through a number of weakly blazed trails. I wasn't thinking about it at first, but then I was forced to realize what had made these trails. Every once in a while, I saw a body. A dead body of another young girl that used to be pretty before death and decay got to her. Some of them were putrid and hollowed out like they'd been there for weeks, but others still were shockingly fresh, as if they'd been killed just a few days ago. This man had to be a serial killer. God knows I didn't stop to inspect them. I couldn't hear the murderous imposter chasing after me. It took what felt like hours before I got back to the highway. From there, I got to a different road and called up another Uber and made my way back to Kayla's house. She was the only one I ever told about this ordeal, until now. But after all that aftermath, I still attend NBA games till this day. I just make sure my cup is non-alcoholic, as I don't want to encounter another Harden imposter again.
Hey, LeBron, I'm your biggest groupie. I mean, fan. I hope you can hear my cheers amongst the Cavs fans.
It's pretty good, but I know we can be much.
What the heck was that? Yo, I did not see it taking that dark of a turn. I'm not gonna lie. Yo, that got mega dark. That honestly, yo, towards the end of that, I genuinely got uncomfortable. I was like, okay, where's this going? Like, am I gonna have to start cutting pieces out of this video? Like, God, dog, that was gross. That was, yo, what the heck, dog? I will never watch the NBA ever again the same. Yo. You know what's crazy, bro? These type of fans are out there. I'm trying to tell you, dog. They're out there. These like crazy stalker LeBron fans and stuff like that. Holy frick, man. Yo, y'all gonna have to let me know what you thought of that. What you all thought of that video, bro. That crap made me uncomfortable. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna watch this guy's videos again. I might. If y'all gonna have to let me know if I should. Anywho, I hope you all like this video. This whole video's got me like hoodwinked and like the hornswoggled. I don't even know the words. My brain is like in a canoozy right now or something, dog. I don't know what the frick going on, man. I hope you all like this video. Hey, let me know in the comments what you want me to watch, react to, analyze next. I'll catch you on the next video, yo.